Alrighty, how's it going? Dave here, podcast from Normal Guy, Super Bowl edition. I wanted to go over some stuff, predictions, stats, that kind of stuff about the game coming up on Sunday. I looked up some things, and some of it kind of blew my mind a bit about how good some of these players are. So let's just get right into it. I want to break down. I'm going to focus mostly on offense, offensive side of the ball for both the Patriots and the Seahawks here. I want to talk a little bit about the Seahawks offense first. Just some their receivers. Now I have a theory about how this game's going to go. I'll go into that as I go here. So good old Jackson here, Jackson Smith. This guy has got 119 receptions for 1,793 yards. That's ridiculous. Okay, 10 touchdowns. Average yards per catch is 15.1. Okay, all-purpose yards. This guy's nuts. Okay, like absolutely insane. But getting into my theory of the game, though, is I think that this Super Bowl, as well as a lot of playoff games, you really have to look at who the other players are. Who's the second and third, fourth, whatever receiver? Because in these games, a lot of times, the primary guys get taken away. So if Jackson is able to be neutralized, I mean, who do they have? The next receiver, Rashid. This guy, Rashid Shaheed. This kid's got 59 receptions for 687 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 11.6 yards per catch. Not too shabby. The number 2 guy. And then you got Cooper Kupp, who's amazing. A lot of playoff experience. Obviously won a Super Bowl already with LA. This guy's got This guy's got 47 receptions for 593 yards. All right. 2 touchdowns, 12.6 yards per reception. And then you get down to their one of their tight ends anyway. It doesn't have all the players here, but you got A.J. Barner. Sorry, I'm probably going to say some of these names wrong. I'm not familiar with these teams. Of course, a lot of people aren't. When it gets to the Super Bowl, you kind of know who's in it, and you don't really know a lot about the teams until you watch the 6 hours of pregames. But you got this kid here. He's still got 52 receptions, 519 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 10 yards. 10 yards per catch. And then you got Jay Bobo. This guy has got only 2 receptions, 20 yards, and 10. But still, well, I mean, you can't. Those stats are skewed, right? It says 10 yards per catch, right? So basically, all in all, you have an absolutely lethal receiving core. I mean, who do you? If you take away one guy, your next guys are going to burn you. Like the 2 and 3 guys are going to burn you, and that's great news for anybody going into a Super Bowl. Just some notes about these guys. Well, I'm not really going to go into all of that stuff. Basically, just what I said. You got a lethal receiving core here. Let's look at the running backs now. So you got, of course, their stud there is Kenneth Walker III. This guy's got 221 carries, 1,027 yards, 5 touchdowns, average 4.6 yards per carry. And he's got 31 receptions. This guy can catch the ball out of the backfield. Then you got Zach Charbonnet. This kid's 184 carries. One of these guys is hurt, though, I thought. We'll get into that. These guys are in. Sorry. 184 carries, 730 yards, 12 TDs, 4 yards per carry, and 20 receptions. And then the other 2 guys are George Holani, 22 carries for 73 yards, 1 TD, averages 3.3 yards, 2 receptions. So, obviously, as you work your way down the depth chart, you don't have a lot of experience here. I swear one of these guys was hurt. Anyways, I'll get to that after because I'm going to go into the injuries and that. You have very good running backs here, and obviously you do. They're in the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I think that this offense is so so lethal that if you take away, even if you take away their top two, then you, like I said before, you still have so many weapons and different combinations of plays you can run to throw off a defense. So let's talk about the Patriots defense a little bit. I had some notes put together here. So primary strengths here of their defense, they sell cat coverage, so it's a heavy man-to-man scheme. Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis III. These guys together working this season, they had a 48.2 passer rating with the quarterbacks playing against them. Crazy, right? Very good. Their interior pass rush is good. They've got Christian Barmore. Sorry, I'm reading some of these names. Okay, don't think that I have all this stuff memorized because I know them sort of like through the playoffs. But and then you got Milton Williams. So these guys as pass rushers are just they're great. They really flipped around their pass rush. 2024 they were like the worst in the league, and now they got a 36.1 pressure rate. That's amazing, right? So that's like a third of the plays they're hurrying the quarterback or getting their paws up or disrupting him in some way. They have a good run defense. They ranked near the top of the league in all those categories. But the other thing they really have going for them is their postseason momentum. You got they're peaking at the right moment. So do I think? Let's see. In the playoffs, they're holding their opponents to 8.7 points per game. Pretty amazing. You're talking about the playoffs here, right? These are all good things. All right. I have my doubts that they can. They haven't faced an offense like this offense for Seattle. So what are some of their weaknesses? Red zone vulnerability. So that's their Achilles heel, right? They're top 10, but they ranked. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. They're a top 10 defense, pardon me, but they ranked worst in red zone defense in the NFL. So people are getting touchdowns 74% of the time when they get to the red zone. So Seattle's a team that can move the ball, and that's not going to bode well for this defense. They are. What are some other weaknesses here? They're talking about having depth at edge rushers, and that's only if people get hurt, right? So if they stay healthy, they'll still be lethal at rushing the passer there. They do have a hard time defending mobile quarterbacks. So they're very disciplined, but they have a lot of off-script defensive schemes. And if anybody cheats on any of these plays, they're going to get burned. So that's something they really have to watch. And they've over the course of the season, they had some lapses in their with their corners, like locking the edges down. I don't know. Like in the playoffs, they seem pretty good so far. I mean, this game is huge, obviously, but I don't know. So I personally, I think when it comes down to it, this offense is too much. They're just too much. They have too many weapons. They have too many schemes. They have too many, just too many plays. They have too many ways to beat a defense. I really give the edge to the Seahawks offense in this game. But let's talk about the Patriots here. Patriots offense. And I'm not even mentioning special teams. Special teams can change the momentum of any game at any time. So as much as I seem like I'm glossing over it, then I'm not trying to take away their importance because, the whole game can flip on its ear with a run back or a blocked punt or a blocked field goal or missed field goals. I mean, we know how important that's been all the way through the playoffs, right? So I'm not trying to take that away. But let's get into the offense here for the Patriots. So who are their weapons? Who are their top people? Well, you got Stephon Diggs, of course, 85 receptions for 1,013 yards, significantly less than the top person on. It's still very respectable, 1,000 yards. Who am I, some armchair quarterback? But 4 TDs and 11.9, so basically 12 yards per play. Keyshawn, how do you say his name? I don't know. Boutte. Sorry, Patriots fans. Don't know how to say this guy's name. I don't want to butcher it. 33 yards, 551 receiving yards, 6 TDs, 16.7. This guy is fast, man. He's. I mean, they're all fast, but this guy's after the catch, he's pretty lethal. Then you got Mark Hollins, 46 receptions, 550 receiving yards, 2 TDs, and 12 yards per carry. Per play. Demario Douglas. I never heard of this guy before, to be honest with you. But he's got 31 receptions for 447 yards, 3 TDs, and 14.4 average yards per catch. Last guy, Kyle Williams, 10 receptions, 209 receiving yards, 3 TDs, and listen to this guy, 20 point. I know that it's skewed. Okay, he's only got 10 receptions, but a lot of them have been for big plays. It sounds like 20.9 yards per catch. Now, again, this is, it's the playoffs, and you're going to take their top guys away, and this receiving core is still really good. I mean, I would, if I was a betting person, which I'm not really, but I would bet on Demario Douglas and Kyle Williams to have a big game. I know you're thinking, oh, what the hell? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? It's the third and fourth receiver on these plays. Sometimes they're not even in, but they're not going to be. They're not going to be double covered. They're going to lose track of, like, Seattle could lose track of these people, and they could end up burning them, right? So I always think my philosophy for the playoffs is always it's the depth of your team. It's your second quarterback sometimes if your starter gets hurt. Your second quarterback mixed up with your second and third receivers with the second back against a starting defense. And the advantage, of course, is the starting defense hasn't practiced. You know what I mean? They haven't practiced to stop this weird kludge of players that could be coming at them. So, anyways, let's talk about the Patriots running backs. Trayvon Henderson, of course, what has he got? 180 carries for 911 yards, 9 TDs, 5.1 average yards per carry, and he's got 221 receiving yards. That's a real trademark of the marquee backs in this league now. They can do it all, right? Stevenson's got 130 carries, 603 yards, 7 TDs, average yards per run 4.6, and then he's got 345 receiving yards. Great out of the backfield. Gives you so many options with your offense. If Seattle starts shutting you down on the ground, which they very well could, start throwing the ball to your backs. And then Antonio Gibson, you got 25 carries, 106 rushing yards, 1 TD, 4.2 average yards per run, and 6 receiving yards. So again, he doesn't have a lot of carries. This guy doesn't have a lot of experience. But these folks are. One of the notes. Sorry, before I forget, one of the notes. Of course, Drake May. He's a threat to run always too, right? He's got 450 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns by himself. So you can't take him out of the equation either. You don't put a spy on him on some plays, and he's going to be in the back of the end zone. So, again, just following my little trend here, let's talk about the Seahawks defense. Some of their strengths. They are a brick wall when it comes to the run. That's why I think you're going to see some creative plays out of the Patriots because they're not going to be able to run. There's 75.7 rushing yards per game, 3.3 yards per carry is the stats on this run defense. Super impressive, and they've been doing great in the playoffs too. They call it a crowd. So I've just heard reading this term now, the crowdsourced pass rush. So it seems they don't rely on one superstar. They have a lot of depth. Okay, They lead the NFL in pressures and blitzing, second lowest rate. They have, led the NFL. I'm just reading this for a second. They led the NFL in pressure rate while blitzing at the second lowest rates. Yeah, so they don't blitz a lot. So they rely on what this article is trying to say and what I'm trying to say. They don't rely on a pass rush. They can put enough pressure on just with their line. So you have, they have their deadly blitz efficiency. So they don't blitz often, but when they do, they'll send the house, right? It's kind of like when I was watching them, I have to be honest with you, when they lined up, they weren't lined up in a 46, but the way they pressured, it really looked like a 46. And it was only for one play. They weren't running it all the time because, of course, the 46 defense is, as much as it's awesome, it's obsolete, right? It was great in 85 for the Bears, but it really looked like how they were pressuring. They had the same kind of stunts on, and they were sending really odd people. And I think it was really entertaining to watch anyway. And then the last thing with this defense strength is that they have absolutely, and I watched this myself. I don't need the article for this one. They are elite when it comes to open field tackling. They are so great. I mean, all of these yards after the catch and all that kind of stuff. The Patriots are not going to. It's not going to happen. Barring the whole defense getting injured, it's not going to happen. But what are some of their weaknesses? I mean, they're not perfect, right? They are vulnerable sometimes to QB scrambles, right? So that's something they really got to watch. They can smother running backs. They're great at plugging all the holes and all the gaps. But if May gets outside the pocket and starts running, he could be trouble. Or even if he runs quarterback draws, he could be trouble. They have some depth concerns. When they don't have their stars, they're less effective. But they're still. I mean, I don't know. They remind me. This defense reminds me of the Belichick Patriots with the next man up. I mean, half their defense could be on the bench hurt and they still win, right? So it's that kind of stuff. And they have in-breaking routes. Whatever. This article is suggesting that their defense is susceptible to being nickel and dime down the field, which is significant. I mean, if the Patriots can get a couple of drives together and take a lot of time off the clock, really, that's going to be good for them. So, I mean, the defense really has to. The Seahawks defense really has to pay attention to the kind of offense that's being thrown at them. And obviously, this is for any game, but it's so hard to make these adjustments in a Super Bowl. It's the player. I don't care what anyone says. This is not just a normal game. It's the Super Bowl, so it's going to be tough for them to stay calm. All right, so let's talk about the quarterbacks for a second. We have obviously Drake May. We have him for the Patriots. This guy had 400. No, that's not right. Oh, it's funny. This article put a bunch of stupid symbols in here. So it says he had 4,394 passing yards. It put dollar signs in there. It's funny. That was confusing me for a second. He had 31 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Pretty good. Not too shabby. Completion rate is 72%, and passer rating overall is 113.5. Rushing yards, this is the key here. Rushing yards, 450 yards. And he had 4 touchdowns. So they can't rely on him to run, though. They rely on him to run, and Seattle's going to kill him. He'll be out of the game. So they have to make sure that he's protected so he can do what quarterbacks do and throw the ball. If they rely on him to run, then he's going to be out of the game. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Sam Darnold, of course. This guy's got 4,048. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Passing yards. Some of the numbers these guys are putting up. 25 touchdowns to 14 interceptions, so he's a little bit undisciplined sometimes. Tries to force things in there too much. Completion rate is 67.7, passer rating 99.1. He's got 95 rushing yards, no touchdowns. So this guy's not running, okay? He's not going to... you're not gonna see him taking off and running. But again, in the Super Bowl, you might. It's black is white, white is black. You're gonna have they might have a couple design plays for him to take off and run. You never know, right? So basically, my 2 cents on this whole game is for, I guess, prediction time. I really think that the Seahawks are going to win. But I don't think it's going to be a runaway. This Patriots team has just hung around, and nobody thought they were going to make it out of the wild card. Nobody thought they were going to, or they were the number 1 seed. Anyways, but they never thought they were going to make it to the Super Bowl, at least. They're very well coached, and I think that this is going to be a better game than people are giving it credit for. They have the ability to make games boring. I mean, I remember back to the Belichick era, and you watch some of those Super Bowls, and it's, my God, this is the most boring. But they won. They won. And if they can frustrate Seattle, which is very possible, emotions are going to run high in this game, if they can frustrate Seattle and make them make a lot of mental errors, if they get down or if they feel like they need to absolutely have to score a touchdown on this drive, it can be, they can be made to feel very uncomfortable on both sides of the ball. And I said before, I alluded to it before, the X factor in this game is special teams, right? That can change the whole tone of the game. I'm really excited for this one. I think that it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a close game. Prediction is Seattle wins, though, and I have the score because I think that they're going to come out tight and it's going to be a boring first half. But I think a lot of scoring is going to be in the second half, and I think it's going to be, we'll call it 34-17 the 28. We'll give them 28, 34-28 for the Seahawks. The Seahawks are winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's it. That's about all I got for you. I know I spit out a lot of stats and all that kind of stuff. I feel that one last thing here. I just feel like the receiving core for Seattle has more depth. They have more depth at running back than the Patriots. If any injuries happen, Seattle's totally they're more set to handle that in the moment, because this is a win or go home, like just like the playoffs, win or go home. And I really do believe that the Patriots or the Seattle is better equipped to handle the ups and downs that are definitely going to happen in this game. So, anyways, that's all I got for you today. Watch the Super Bowl. This is Dave here, podcast the normal guy, Super Bowl edition. Leave me some comments. What do you think? Who's going to win? All right, see you later.